Yeah. We back. Welcome to episode 5, Paint to the Pit podcast. We are here. We are back. We are excited. It's your boy Dwayne. Got here, man of the hour, Omega the Iota. Got Jay in the building, Jason in the building. So we back. We excited. We here. How y'all feeling today? Y'all feeling good?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
Feeling good. That's what I love to hear. So we got some exciting stuff to talk about today. We're gonna start it off with the hottest topic in basketball right now. As we saw this past week, the New York Knicks and the Minnesota Timberwolves finalized the trade to send Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo over to Minnesota with draft compensation, and the Knicks will be receiving Karl Anthony-Towns in that trade. So, blockbuster trade. I want to pass that right over to Jay. Jay, what you feeling about that trade? How you feeling?
Come on, I got the pennant right here, bro.
Yeah.
We here. I hate to see my boy Randle and DiVincenzo go. I like them. They were cool, but hey, man, like
they were cool.
We say this all the time. NBA, NBA is a business.
They were cool.
You got to make the right moves, man. I think I would like to see. I would like to see the Big Purr in MSG, man. That is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun seeing the lineups they could come up with. You could move Cat anywhere. He could play the 4 or the 5. You know, you got the wings. Like even without DiVincenzo, I'm still looking at the lineup right now. Like, like how do you just like you could do anything, bro? Like
just
we never had this as a Knicks team. What's that?
What this card is for you. The reason I put this card out is because you saying they was cool is wild. They was bad dedicated to that team, so that's wild. That's a wild card for you.
Yeah, those are my guys, man.
That's crazy. That was crazy.
Yo, those are my guys, but you know, like I like what we're gonna be able to do, man. I don't know how it's gonna work for the teams that got like the serious big men, you know, like the Embiids and Jokic's of the world. It's gonna be tough, but
wait. I like that terminology, serious big man. Where's Cat then? Where's he, the unserious big man?
Nah, he there, but come on, Embiid is Embiid, bro. Like, how we going? You know, like that's a different skill set, man. And like, and a guy like Jokic, how do you like? It'd be like those memes we'd be seeing the video, but like me playing elite defense on Jokic for 23.9 seconds, and he just throwing random big man passes somebody for a layup.
Humbly, that's optimistic though. To think that y'all gonna have to worry about Jokic means that y'all think y'all going to the finals. So respect. I respect it. Jokic ain't in the East, but I respect it. My fault for interrupting.
we got a lot to fight for. So.
Y'all think y'all going to the finals is crazy. Yo, don't let him do it that.
A lot of people saying East Finals, at least. I'm like, I don't know. We're going to see. A lot remains to be seen because, obviously, you know, having Mitch Robs on the team, you never know what you're going to get with a guy like that. He could either play 23 games or 72. So, you know, hopefully he's able to kind of come around and really, like,
have you got the opportunity to see that Mitch Rob had, after he made that cryptic post about being the one Knick that is left, moments after that, about 2 hours, they basically announced that he's in trade rumors too.
Oh, yes, I did. I actually did see that. They said they were like actively shopping him. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Crazy.
I think it's like you need bigs. You need something. Like Karl Anthony-Towns is great talent, but I don't think it could just be him. You know, like I don't think it's like you gotta have depth. You know, like we see the teams that have depth go pretty far. You know, they don't, whether it's injuries, they always got something to shuffle into the lineup to kind of be a contender and compete. So that, I mean, as far as just seeing the Knicks, like I love it. I love how they looking this year. I'm just worried about the injury aspect, you know. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. Towns, I hope he at least matches what Randle was putting up or does better. You know, because Randle, I know people was always iffy about him. Like
That's an intense hooper right there with Julius Randle.
yeah, like he get
He bring
buckets and
intensity
then
though. That's
yeah,
the biggest difference between him and Karl Anthony-Towns that I feel is going to play a lot into the season is the intensity that they're going to miss from Julius Randle. Julius Randle is a
yeah,
real intense, hard-working hooper. Where Cat doesn't really bring the intensity. He brings the light skin aspect of hooping. He's gonna
yeah.
shoot the ball. He might get you about 7, 8 rebounds. He may block a shot, but he don't really bring you the monster that you be hoping he would. So,
Yeah, I felt like he meshed well with Thibodeau in that regard. Like he that grit and grind that Thibodeau likes
yeah.
to. He definitely had that energy.
But
With Cat, yeah,
but
it's
but all I can say about that is that Thibodeau had to approve the trade.
yeah,
So Thibodeau
yeah,
had to see
that's
something
true.
in Company Towns that a lot of other people don't see. That he felt like if I get this guy with me and I can put him in the right position and give him these extra minutes, because he's gonna play extra minutes now. It's no more
Oh,
25. It's no more 25, 27 minutes for Cat. He'll be at a good 32 to 38 minutes a game.
yeah.
So
That's what I'm hoping. If a guy like Mitch Rob can stay healthy, and we got like guys like Achua, like we could keep Towns at that 4 and have that. Yo, that's gonna be cool to watch.
first thing. You said a guy like who's staying healthy?
Mitch Rob.
Who? Gotta give the
How many
who?
seasons he been
We
healthy?
gotta pray.
How many seasons he been healthy?
We gotta pray,
Matter of
man.
fact,
That's the
let's do a breakdown, Miss Raw. How many years he played in the league? Somebody please
4
get.
or 5.
Where are people in the background? When
Yeah,
do y'all get that answer for us?
I
yeah,
got you while
5.
y'all
It's
continue to
5.
talk.
It's 5.
Okay.
5
5.
years.
He entering his 6th season now.
This is his 6th season right
Yeah,
now. And guess
yeah,
what?
bro.
I bet 5 out of 6 he been injured.
Yeah.
So banging on him, we gonna just have to get him out of here. I think the Knicks is making the right choice by trying to get him out of here because we are trying to win now.
There was only 2. There was only 2 seasons he played 30 games. The rest he played 60, like 65 plus. So,
Bro,
I mean,
he not even 28, bro.
but you know what it is? Even besides that, it's the foul trouble. It's the foul trouble. He averaged like 4 fouls a game.
Yeah,
but
just wanted to make sure we brought it back to where we were supposed to be. I know like Mitch Rob is important, but I do want to like really focus on how y'all feel. What do y'all think that means for the Knicks in terms of their standing in the East? Do you think that take them from a semifinals team to a conference finals team? Do that take them from the conference finals to the NBA finals? Like, I just really want y'all to like talk about what y'all feel like the impact of this trade is. Or do y'all think they're in kind of like the same position if they would have kept Randle and DiVincenzo as opposed to keeping Karl Anthony-Towns? Do you think this was a plus trade? Do you think this was a minus trade? And do you think it was a neutral? And whatever you feel, like, why do you think it was a plus if it was a plus? Why do you think it's neutral if it was neutral? Or why do you think it was negative if you feel it's negative?
I'm gonna say I think it's a plus.
Okay.
I can definitely see them touching the conference finals, but then again, it's tough. That's a long ways from now, right? Like anything can happen between now and then. But I think just from a paper standpoint, like I said, the team starting 5, what they could do with the bench, the rotations they could create, the lineups they can make, like I think they're in good standing. So if they were to make the Eastern Conference Finals, that wouldn't come as a surprise to me. I'm like, look at the team on paper. Like we got guys that can compete. Brunson is back. Like we got one of the best forwards in the league, Karl Anthony-Towns. Like we here. Like I what do you think? Oh, like I personally think if they can't get to it, then damn. But yeah, at least Eastern Conference Finals. I say at least.
I don't really think the trade made any difference for them. I just think it was like I think it was just a trade for the eyes of things right now. Of course, when you look into it deeper, Karl Towns was active during the playoffs. Julius Randle wasn't for like the second year in a row. So that's the biggest question. Hopefully, that's answered is that they have somebody who's a secondary superstar who's actually playing in the playoffs. So as far as that go, I feel like that was the biggest aim as far as the trade. Having a secondary superstar who's actually going to give them minutes in the playoffs. But as far as does it make them better as a team, I can't really say. They got a better shooter. That's the biggest
That's
thing I
true.
can say. They
That's
got
true.
more spacing on the floor,
True.
better shooter, bigger shooter. So Jalen Brunson's going to be able to attack, get to the lane a little bit easier, run pick and rolls with Cat. So I definitely think they added a lot of nuances to their game. But necessarily better, I don't know, because I'm so high on Julius Randle and the way he plays. I can't just necessarily just say that it made them better, because that would be phony of me. Because I'm so high on Julius Randle, I'm one of the few people who really think he top 3 power forwards in the league. So to see him just get traded for Karl Anthony-Towns, who's struggling to stay in that same echelon, it's kind of tough
Yeah.
for me.
But do you feel like maybe that was because of how Randall is in the playoffs? I'm not saying he's like completely dirt, but I feel like we have seen him in the playoffs versus his in season game, and it's like it feel like he just struggles to replicate his in season form. Like once we hit the playoffs, it's like he either shooting bad, he's shooting someone out of games, like he's not scoring.
For me, if we was to say that, you would be having the same conversation about Karl Anthony-Towns. So if
Yeah.
it's basically a mirror effect at that point, because they both struggle in the playoffs. To be honest, they both couldn't get their teams over the hump. Granted, we've seen Karl Anthony-Towns make it further than he's made it in his last 9 years, but also he has a dog on his team now who can carry the weight. He wasn't carrying the weight no more. The weight was being carried by Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
And then the secondary weight, which is playing the defense on the best big men in the league, things of that nature, they took that job from him and gave it to Rudy Gobert. So they took the time with Karl Anthony-Towns and gave him a lot of chances to grow as a person and as a player, and he just hasn't really took that next step, no matter what they did for him. So I understand the trade, but that's why I think they're equal. What about you, Dwayne? What you feeling?
Yeah. To me, when I was looking at this trade, I was personally, the first thing I thought about was Dante DiVincenzo. Watching the Knicks play in the playoffs last year, dude hit a lot of big shots for New York at times where they needed him. Like for me, I'm gonna be the first to say I'm not the biggest Karl Anthony-Towns fan or the biggest Julius Randle fan for some of the reasons that y'all named. I don't think the trade does anything for him. I think Karl Anthony-Towns plays with zero motor. And when you got players that play with zero motor, I can't trust you. I can't look at you and be like, okay, I know I can depend on you this night. I just got to be like, sort of like as a Lakers fan, I do with D'Lo. When I get those good games, I'm happy. When I don't, I'm not surprised. And when you talk about a trade of this magnitude, I don't think that should be the way you look at it. If I get a good game, cool. If I don't, I'm not surprised. Like Karl Anthony-Towns was the number one overall pick. He's in his first year of a 4-year, $220 million contract extension. So y'all going to have to pay him over these next 4 years. He's 28. He's going to finish up that contract at 32. He plays with zero motor, bro. I don't like that. When I mean zero motor is if we doing pick and rolls and you got a 6'2" guard switched on you, don't just have that guard push you off into the corner. Post that guard up. Demand the basketball. Act like you want it. And that's what I say motor. Motor doesn't mean you just going to score every time you get the ball or you're going to average 30. Motor means it's like you understand the moment, you understand the time, you understand the matchup, you understand what you're trying to do. Now, if you miss the shot, you miss a shot. Basketball is a make or miss game, right? Some games he's going to have it. I'm not going to look at Karl Anthony-Towns if he got 10 points and be like, oh, he ain't play hard. Sometimes you're just missing your shots. That comes with it. But like I'm saying, when you going through the pick and rolls and you got Trae Young on you and you're not trying to post him up, you going off to stand in the corner. And that's also what Jimmy Butler's problem was with him, right? When they had that rift when Jimmy Butler was in Minnesota, it's like, where is the want? Where is the motor? And then when you come to New York, like there's no media tougher than coming to New York. And he's not going to play in Barclays in Brooklyn. He's coming to play in Madison Square Garden in Manhattan, the Mecca. So for me, you can't be weak. You can't be mentally and emotionally weak in terms of basketball. I'm not talking about in life in general, but in terms of basketball, you can't be mentally, emotionally weak. And I think that's where he is. And so when just to finish off this last point, so when you got to go up against Giannis and a Brook Lopez, when you got to go up against a Joel Embiid and that team, when you got to go up against a Boston where they probably going to have Tatum or Jaylen Brown playing the 4. Bro, these are the things. Now the beauty in it is not like the West where almost every Western Conference game is going to be a dogfight. I think you have a little bit more nights off in the East where you got to play some of the worst teams. But for me, I don't think the trade did anything for him. I wouldn't have done it. I get it from like a Minnesota side financially. They invested a lot of money in Nas Reed, Anthony Edwards, things of that nature. They just drafted the young guard from Kentucky. So I think they got DiVincenzo, another shooter. I think Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, that's going to be interesting to kind of see that work itself out and how that lineup is going to go. But for the Knicks, man, I wouldn't have done it. I thought y'all was building on something. I thought the Villanova kind of connection with DiVincenzo and everybody was great, but I don't really see much coming from this. I think last year they lost in the first round to Indiana, a lot of injuries, of course. I don't see them as anything more than a semifinals team at most. I don't see them. I don't have them beating. I don't even think they would have beat the Sixers if Joel Embiid didn't get hurt last year. That's just me personally. I just think that type of guy, when I talk about motor, that's what I talk about. A guy that every possession, you're going to feel his presence on the basketball court.
Yeah,
that's what I mean about motor. So I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong, but I'm just not a fan.
Do you feel like, and this is just hypothetical, do you feel like him having a change of environment, like going to a team like the Knicks, where it's, the Tom Thibodeau coaching style, it's being under one of the brightest lights, it's the mecca, like they call it the mecca of basketball. Do you think that'll change that, or do you see it as just a personal thing, like he just don't got no motor at all?
Karl Anthony-Towns is who he is.
Exactly. Bro, like you got this guy who, if you're talking talent, you can argue talent with any of the best big men in the league. If we're talking strictly ability, skill set, but when you talk motor, Karl Anthony-Towns is who he is. And I don't think you come to brighter lights in that change. I actually think you come to brighter lights, that gets worse. Like you saw a situation like, again, I'm using this as a comparison, D'Lo was an all-star in Brooklyn. Nobody was really watching him in terms of everyday scrutiny. What are you doing? How are you playing? How are you performing? But when you come to LA and you on the team with Bron, it's like every day you reading in the paper, he didn't do this, you didn't do that, you're not showing up, you're not making your threes, you're not being consistent. Do I think Karl Anthony-Towns is equipped for that? No. But again, I say all this hoping that I'm wrong. I really do. I was just looking before we started the conversation. I was looking over the 5 games that they had against Dallas in the playoffs. It's going in order. It was 16 points, 7 rebounds. Game 2, 15 points, 7 rebounds. Game 3, 14 points, 11 rebounds. Game 4 and 5, he picked it up with 25 and 28. But it's like, you can't be a 15 and 17 guy. That's not what you can be. If you're going to come to New York and be a 15 and 17 guy in the play against Dallas too. Like, it's not like he was going up against formidable big man in the sense of you have to lock in defensively every play too. That wasn't the case.
Chris Bosh was putting up better numbers as the third person on the Heat.
Yeah, it's like if you doing that against Gafford and Lively, and then what do I think you're gonna do against Joel and Giannis?
Yeah.
I just can't deal with it. Hearing
I can't argue that. I ain't gonna lie.
Wrong what Chris Bosh did as a third option. That's just all sexy, nasty, bro.
Oh God.
Just not a fan, man. I'm a believer in camaraderie, and I'm a believer in growth and team unity and team building. Like I think they should have at least gave this squad another chance with Julius Randle coming back. You got the Nova boys who have that. Like you can't, and O can speak to this better than I can, but you can't undervalue team chemistry. Like when you playing basketball, I don't care how much talent you got. That's why even when you go to the Olympics, that's why the USA was in these dog fights. Talent for talent, it's like it's not even close. But these teams have been playing together since they were teenagers, going to the Olympics.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant.
So it's like
kept saying that.
So it's like they know where each other is going to be without even thinking about it. They know the plays. They ran these plays so many times that they know all 7 to 8 looks that could come out of this one play. They know where to be. They know when to cut. They know how to cut. You can't undervalue that. I'm happy he gets over a month to kind of like go through training camp, but I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan. And lastly, what I would say, I'll put a bow on this topic for me. If y'all got anything else to say, I can add it. Lastly, I can say he stays in foul trouble. And you're not gonna play these guys. You're not gonna play these elite bigs and think being in foul trouble is gonna be what's useful. Yeah. It's not gonna be. They're gonna attack you. They know to attack Karl Anthony-Towns. So I just think it was a neutral trade. I don't think it made them any better, to be honest. But as a New Yorker and as with brothers that love the Knicks and, you know, Mom Dukes and everybody love the Knicks, I hope I'm wrong because I want to see the Knicks succeed. I'm not saying it's from a place of like, I want to see the Knicks fail. Nah. I want to see them succeed, but I don't know if Karl Anthony-Towns is what would have done it. I would have kept Julius Randle personally and DiVincenzo. Cause I don't think we can undervalue what losing Dante DiVincenzo meant either. Like Josh Hart is great. Josh Hart is not a knockdown 3-point shooter. He's great. He's gonna go get you those 12 to 15 rebounds. Yep. He's scrappy. He got that fight. He's gritty. But if you remember, most of all of the big 3-pointers came from Dante DiVincenzo last year. And I don't think we should forget that. And hopefully, you know, somebody else can step up. But if y'all got anything else y'all want to mention as it pertains to this trade?
Nah, I mean, yeah, like you said, just we hope we're wrong, right?
we hope we're wrong.
The only thing is like when it came to DiVincenzo, it just over the last week there was some speculation that he wasn't really feeling this whole like Nova Knicks type of team thing going on, and he was like questioning his playing time. But my thing is like I don't know if that's like you said. I think you just got to give it a chance. You owe it to yourself.
You gotta give it a chance.
Like, like through the injuries and everything that happened last year with everybody going out, you just owe it to yourself to give that one try. There's no hurt that comes from it.
Yeah, that's what I felt. I also felt that way about that Milwaukee team before they broke it up that year. You know, Giannis was hurt and stuff. Not to change the topic, but just drawing the parallel. So, yeah. So I think we could put a bow on that topic. I mean, or we can put a yeet on that topic as we move to the next topic, which is my boy Jey Uso finally winning that IC title. So I wanna kick this off with O, and I just want us to discuss how we feel about Jey Uso winning that IC title, but also with his pops Rikishi saying he felt like it should have been a bigger buildup for that particular moment with him winning the IC title. So we'd love to get your thoughts on that IC title and what does it mean in 2024 in the WWE? What is a proper buildup for these premium live events compared to the pay-per-view events back in the day? So, we're going to kick it off with you.
Yeet? Fuck is you talking about?
Yeet?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little excited. To see what's going on with my boy Jay. I don't know if everybody been paying attention, but in previous episodes of the Paint to the Pit pod, subscribe. We spoke about how we was a little bit worried about where Jey Uso was going in the storyline. We were speaking about how we wasn't sure that they was writing for him and things of that nature. And I'm happy to say that they answered our calls and they heard the podcast. They heard us really
They definitely did.
Loud and clear.
We were so 100%. Avid. We were so avid on the fact that Jey Uso deserves this push, not only due to the fact that we personally think he's done a great job in the last few years as far as going from Who's That Twin to now main event Jey Uso. You know what I'm saying? He's done a great job from changing the narrative of his career. And then on top of that, you look at everything, he has the fans behind him. And having the fans behind you is a tough thing to do in this day and age, especially for the Samoan wrestlers, because a lot of fans seem to think that the Samoan wrestlers are already pushed, quote unquote, pause, down our throat. That's crazy. But anyway, we're going to continue the conversation. Crazy.
Wait a second, huh?
Whoa! Nah, but
That was crazy.
My throat is a virgin.
Nah.
But yeah, even than that, though, bro. Like, what you feel about Rikishi? With Rikishi saying that he felt like this should have been a bigger buildup, like this should have probably changed heads on a premium live event or something like that. And what you feel about buildups, bro? And are they overrated? What value do they add to the storyline? And do you agree with Rikishi?
My throat is a virgin. It's crazy. But Rikishi, I feel like Rikishi has to find time to give thanks. I understand his family got a lot going on. There's a lot going on with the family. And I understand the excitement behind seeing your child, your offspring, do things that you once did, and more. But he just got to give people an opportunity. You know, the whole, like for instance, we were just speaking about how the whole Jey Uso thing was just pushed on everybody because of the fact that it was so random. He got lit so randomly.
Yeah.
He got extremely lit so randomly. So for Rikishi to cast these judgments and things of that nature, it's kind of disappointing because you know how hard it is in this field. It's a lot of other people who are growing as superstars and things of that nature. And Jey Uso isn't the youngest wrestler on the roster. So for him to be feeling the way he does, it's like, I get it, but at the same time, I truly don't get it. I would be more so happy with the W, if anything, if I was Rikishi, because Braun Breaker is him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And when it comes to, he needs to grow as a wrestler. No disrespect to Jey Uso, but it took some time. It took years for Jey Uso to get where he.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker been like this.
That's true.
From day one, he been like this. As soon as he hit the scene, so for us to try to gas it in a sense, it's kind of tough. It's tough for me. It's tough. Braun Breaker deserves everything he's getting and more. So for them to even give Jey Uso the opportunity, kudos to him. And Rikishi, you got to bag back and let people do the things that they are doing, because it's not easy. It's not easy to push a superstar that's been with you for 15 plus years almost, and then push them to the moon in a whole different light from where you had them growing. So
that's a fact.
That's how I feel about that. I would like to hear what y'all think about this topic, because this is truthfully a really interesting topic for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much with Jey.
For sure. I think like Jey Uso winning the title needed to happen. I think, it was long overdue. But in wrestling, what is really long overdue when, it's a weekly episodic, television series. It's a story, so they gotta find a way to get that build up. I feel like they do similar things like that with some of these veteran superstars. Like we saw it with Kofi Kingston as the example that first come to mind when he beat Daniel Bryan and the team, the WWE Universe got behind him. But for Jey Uso, I think it was a great win. I know we were speaking about it before the pod. We was on Xbox talking, and we was like, we expected this win. It still was a little surprising, but we expected the win. But shout out to Jey Uso. It's going to be interesting to see. What I'm looking forward to the most, if I'm being honest with y'all, is that first interaction with him as the IC title, and he sees Roman Reigns again for the first time, and Roman has no title, and that sort of dynamic. Because to me, everything about that bloodline is dynamics, and you have to look at each individual relationship within that storyline to really appreciate the storyline as a whole. And for this bloodline storyline to have started out with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, and for Roman to have been the one to beat Jey Uso, and Jey Uso, obviously outside of Cody, being one of the only ones to pin Roman Reigns during that run, I think that's great. So I'm looking forward to that. But as it pertains to Rikishi's comments, again, I just think, you have these legendary, and let me make sure, while disagreeing with him, making sure I give him his flowers, you have these legendary wrestlers who also come from the old school way of booking and the old school way of thinking. And I think that's what we even kind of saw with the genius and the visionary that is Vince McMahon. We start seeing these old school ways of booking where it's like now the fans, and then I think you got to make Raw and SmackDown matter. And to make it matter is moments like you had last Monday. I don't think Raw and SmackDown should just be filler shows for PLEs. When you just make those two shows filler shows for PLEs, then that's when people start losing interest. So to have Jey Uso win the title on Raw, I felt like made perfect sense as Raw moves and transitions into Netflix. I think it just made sense. I think you're building up these brands. You have to build up the individual brand to build up the brands as a whole. So I understand where Rikishi coming from. Like I think Roman Reigns won the title against, I think it was at Bad Blood too or something like that, when he had won the WWE Championship when he first came back. There wasn't no major build up to that. We saw him return, beat the hell out of, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, and then we saw him align with Paul Heyman, and then the next pay per view he was the champion. So not everything is really about build ups. It's about the story that you give once that person has the title, and it's going to be interesting to see how Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest and that sort of relationship revolve around, because I think Jey Uso got like 3 or 4 different pockets. He got that relationship with them. He has his relationship with Sammy that they've been showing a lot on screen recently, and them two just trying to pick each other up and be friends. And then obviously you go all the way back to the bloodline. So I think there's a lot of different angles. And then of course Braun Breaker, right? You can't forget he just beat Braun Breaker. So I understand what Rikishi's saying, and I'm not a dad yet, but I can speak to this. Like I can only imagine as a dad, you just want the biggest possible, execution for your kid when it's their time to become champion. Yeah. So it's not like I'm knocking on them or hating on them for saying those things. I just disagree. I think, we living in that PLE era where it's like we're not watching something to go buy a $50-$60 pay-per-view like we used to. So I think build-ups matter, and I think championships changing when we were spending $65 on a pay-per-view, I think that mattered. I think now that we will have Peacock and we're paying like $7.99 a month, we don't mind, titles not changing during every premium live event. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it, and I do think they should continue to use Raw and SmackDown, especially with the what I call the secondary titles, to change hands. Like PLEs are cool, but let's see LA Knight you lose the championship on SmackDown, or let's just see Jey Uso when it's time for him to lose, see him lose it on Raw. Let's see the tag team titles change hands a few times on Raw, and maybe of course I think when you get into Universal title, world title, I think I understand Rikishi point a little bit more there, but I think for the secondary titles now. But that's really how I feel about it. What you thinking about this topic, Jay?
Honestly, I like Jey Uso winning the belt. I'm fully on board. I think the notion is that this is main event Jey Uso, right? So it's like, why is he in anything other than world title picture, WWE title picture? But at the same time, it's like you said, like we got to make certain things mean something, right? Like if you look at the IC title in this recent years, like look at the people who's held those belts, like Gunther, Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker. Like these are good names you won't have in those belts, because for the longest time, what do? We complain about, the mid-card titles is trash. The mid-card titles don't get no love. They're not in the PLEs. Like nobody cares about these things anymore. They've had to redesign it X amount of times. Like now we kind of in a point where we're looking at the booking and we're like, oh shoot, like Intercontinental title match, Gunther, Jey Uso, like you have all these different matches popping up that you can create off of that. And that's a good thing to see, because again, you have to make the weekly shows matter. You have to give people something to like, okay, like this is the main event tonight. Right? It's not just Damian Priest versus Finn Balor for the Judgment Day storyline. Like we could actually see different. You could plug in and play everything now. And I get the sentiment that Jey Uso should already be where like the likes of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. I get it, but build up does matter a little bit. Build up does matter. Like you gotta let people get a running start. Of course, throwing them into the fray and just propping them up with a WWE title. Like in a sense, that happened to Cody Rhodes, right? Like we kind of look at Cody Rhodes run, like they just he's been here for what, 2-3 years. He already got the WWE title, and now we're looking at it like, like, damn, this ain't even like anything close to matching what Roman Reigns was doing. Like we don't even like it anymore. Like we looking at everything else. But yeah, I think Jey Uso he needs this. He needs this for now. You know, shout out to Braun Breaker, love that guy, but it's you know we kind of get spoiled a little bit because we're kind of used to like I said, the Roman Reigns and the Gunther's of the world holding the title for 600,000-700,000 days, right? Sometimes you just got to change the title up, plug in other wrestlers, see how this person fits here into this story, and just let them run. Like Jey Uso, he's been working for the longest time. Like I said, he's older. He's a lot older than most of the roster. Like, let him run. Let him see what he could do with that, and keep that title. As it pertains to like what Rikishi said, that's his family, right? Like those are his kids. Of course, he's gonna want to see them, at the top and elevated and having like the perfect storyline buildup. But I just don't think you can get there unless you start somewhere. This might be the start of who knows, the next 2-3 years just might be purely main event Jey Uso. We don't even know what they're gonna do. So I think he needs to start here, and he needs to keep that IC title just running, working with those storylines, and then who knows, maybe we'll see him in the world title picture soon enough. But
yeah,
gotta start somewhere.
I could definitely see him being in the world title picture, but next 3-4 years being Jey Uso years is capped.
Yeah, that was tough.
I mean,
He's just
that was tough.
Braun Breaker and the Samoan Werewolf years. Next 3 to 5 years. There's only one Samoan that's going to be carrying the next 3 to 5 years.
That's a fact.
That's Jacob. Shout out to Solo, though. Roman about to move on soon. 3 to 5 years. I think Roman's going to be in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Especially after that promo. Not to change the subject, but that promo that him and Cody did was amazing.
Yeah. No, for sure. So, I think we kind of put a cap on that conversation. I think kind of got our points across. Looking forward to see how Jey Uso, what this run looks like, what the booking looks like, how the storyline looks like, and it's exciting. And speaking of yeet, and then speaking of exciting, we know next Saturday, October 5th, we have Bad Blood 2024, which is gonna be in Cody Rhodes' hometown of ATL, Atlanta. Just to quickly go over the card, the matches on this card, and just basically I'll start with giving my opinions on the topic. But the match card is looking like CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell match. We have Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. We have Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley with Dominic Mysterio suspended in a shark cage above the ring. They always putting that boy in something. Jesus Christ. He probably got claustrophobia. And then we got the women's championship match with Nia Jax and Bayley, Nia Snacks. I hope you see this, Nia Snacks. And then lastly, fight of the night, we got Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Yeah, so this card is looking great. I think it's they put together some great matches on here. I think obviously the only match I'm truly looking forward to is the tag team match at the end. Only for storyline purposes. I could give a damn who wins this match if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't care if Solo and Jacob beats Roman and Cody or Roman and Cody beats Solo and Jacob. Who gives a damn, right? I don't personally. But for storyline perspective, and I say that because watching this past Friday Night SmackDown, you starting to see them, turn Kevin Owens. He's against Cody teaming up with Roman. And Randy Orton came out and cut a promo, said, I don't like the fact that he's teaming up with Roman. So I do like the fact that it seems like they setting up Cody Rhodes for whatever's next. I've been clamoring and begging for that. Get away from this bloodline stuff, bro. Just get away. I don't want to see him involved. I want to put more respect on Cody's name. Don't think I take pride in hating on Cody Rhodes. I don't. I can only talk about the shit that I seen. I want to be able to come on here and say, you know what, y'all? Man, as soon as he got away from the bloodline, he did great things. Do I think it's going to happen? Hell no. Let's be real. I don't. But
I hope you
but at the same time, I don't, bro. Like, I really don't want to hate on Cody, bro. I want Cody to find his footing, just like I want every other WWE star to find their footing, bro. Because at the end of the day, I'm a fan of the product. Yeah, I love Roman. Roman, my favorite. Obviously, Bloodline, storyline. I'm talking about my favorite currently, but I want the whole product to succeed, bro. And Cody is the leader right now, the spearheader in terms of who has the title. Obviously, Roman is putting the most butts in seats if we're talking business, but who has the title is Cody. So I want to see him do well, bro, because if he do well and storylines do well, other wrestlers elevate, and it's not just, oh, let's wait for Roman to come back. Let's wait for Roman to come back, because that's getting tiring too. And this is coming from somebody that loves and appreciates everything Roman has done. The WWE universe should be able to flourish with everything that Roman laid out for the bloodline, for how he made Cody look, how he's elevated, Kevin Owens elevated, Sami Zayn's elevated, the Usos elevated, Solo elevated. All of these guys elevated. I think it's just so much there. We've been clamoring for the Randy turn. It looked like Kevin Owens is going to turn first. So I'm looking forward to that. Moving away from that, bro. That's that, But right now, just, it's still fuck Cody. But hopefully we can move past that. And then it'll be dope to see Jimmy come back. You hear those conflicting reports. I hope he has some type of impact in this match. His music hitting that Bad Blood would be exciting. I think that would be great. And for these other matches, I just think, a lot of these matches are just hopefully putting a cap on a lot of these storylines, especially the Judgment Day. I don't have really much to say about that. They just come out every week and beat each other up, which is cool. But, we're getting tired of seeing that. So hopefully we start getting to the point where we're seeing everybody transition. Even if it's within the same storyline, give us another chapter of it. Don't just keep giving us the same chapter over and over and over and over. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great pay-per-view. I do believe this is the last pay-per-view before Survivor Series in November. So, or Premium Live Event. Let me make sure I'm saying it right, because nobody paying $65 for these things anymore. But yeah, I'll never forget those days, by the way. I would never forget those days of looking on the sheet and figuring out which one you're going to go ask Mom Dukes or Pops to pay for. Bro, I used to always ask for WrestleMania because I'm not getting anything else. But to keep it, you'd be lucky to get one. So shout out to Peacock for being $7.99 and giving us these pay-per-views off for $7.90. Yeet. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that card. Jay, how you feeling about this card?
Yeah, I mean, it's something to watch. I think, and all I could say, I think the thing I appreciate the most is that it's cool that it seems like it's matching the theme of the PLE, right? It's Bad Blood. Every match in there is something that's been ongoing, something that, like Drew and CM Punk, obviously that's Bad Blood. These guys been fighting for the last 6 pay-per-views, but it's like, it just all we're seeing right now is, I think, just the finalities on most of those storylines. Like, I'm pretty sure that's gonna end, right? Like, the stuff with the Judgment Day, man, shout out Dominic, man, but it's just having that man suspended in the air, he always in a cage, locked up somewhere, Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. I don't even care who wins that match, right? It's just like whoever the belt goes to is just to advance whatever they got going on. But as far as the Roman Cody match, that'd probably be my favorite match of the night. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but like you said, I don't even think it matters who wins or loses. Like, we're gonna see what it breaks off into once we get to that end point. It would be cool to see Jimmy turn up. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but it would be interesting to see like where those storylines start to branch off now. As like you said, we're heading into Survivor Series, which means Road to WrestleMania. So yeah. But I don't expect much from it. It's something to watch. And that's the cool. That's got to be the cool thing, right? Like, not everything has to be like, all right, this is gonna be the be or end all of WWE. Like, it's something to keep us entertained, man. Because like you said, the product. Like, we're fans of the product. We want to see these people grow and do cool stuff and elevate. Honestly,
100%.
What you think, O?
My fault, yeah, I have.
That's what O think. Listen, if this was a fire card, O wouldn't have started like that. O wouldn't have said, what's the bad blood? That's all right. I got you. I got you. We were thinking, who fighting again? Cody. All right. Let's do it. I got you. That goes to show you what O think. My bad, though, bro. You got it.
That's legit. My mindset.
That's what you need to say, man.
Because it's like
1,000 words right there.
I just want to get past this PLE. I ain't gonna lie. This is one of those PLEs. I'm happy they're bringing it back and things of that nature. But I'm more so set on like Survivor Series. I'm more so mentally set on because
War game.
I don't feel like Bad Blood is gonna really. With the opportunity of Jimmy Uso coming back, I just don't see much from Bad Blood, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot of good matches and things of that nature, but as far as like a growth standpoint, I don't think Bad Blood has much to offer as far as the storylines. I think this is one of those PLEs that wasn't really needed. I think they could have gave this PLE to like a Clash of the Castle or something like that. I think it should have been the open PLE where they did something along those lines, because Bad Blood used to be one of the more popping PLEs back in.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get what they tried to do as far as making it a lot of rivalries culminating at this pay-per-view and things of that nature, but it just seems rushed still for me. I don't know why. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Just like Jey Uso winning the belt last week, I wish that was on Bad Blood, just like Rikishi does, so I can see his upsetness. It just seemed like right now in this WWE period, everything seems so rushed because they're trying to prepare for the future. And I don't know how to feel about Bad Blood. I just hope it's a good pay-per-view. Only match is always, as always, the Bloodline. We here for one match only. And other than that,
100%.
I just hope everybody else doesn't get hurt and that the card is good for the most part.
Yeah.
As long as barring no injuries and things of that nature, we'll be okay.
Please.
We can deal with this card for the future.
100%.
The next card is going to be fire. I feel like Survivor Series War Games is going to be the card that really takes WWE back to the relevancy in the mainstream, in upper echelons of conversation. Right now, Bad Blood isn't really, in the things that have been leading up to Bad Blood hasn't really been it, but it's going to go. And we're going to be back at the point where the whole world is tuning in, and we're in the upper echelon of wrestling.
Nah, 100% agree. You know, like I always compare like wrestling to like NBA, and the fact that like you get excited for the opening night games, then you get excited for maybe the Christmas games, you get excited for maybe the Martin Luther King Day games, then that's going into All-Star break, and then now you're thinking about the playoffs and everything else in between. You appreciate, but you understand what it is. Like I understand the level of intensity maybe that I'm getting from LeBron in game 58 of the season is not the same that I'm going to be getting when the playoffs start or at the beginning of the season or things of that nature. And I feel the same with WWE. We know they advertise WrestleMania #1, SummerSlam #2, Royal Rumble #3. That's the way they advertise their PLEs, and everything else kind of fall in between. So, we're looking forward to that. I think, with that being said, we could put a cap on this episode 5 of the Paint to the Pit podcast with your boy Dwayne, the man of the hour, Omega the Iota. Bro, Jason over there. We excited to have you guys. Excited to have you guys continue to listen to our podcast. And again, for those that's been supporting, whether you just liked the video, commented on the video, just watched the video, whatever you did, we truly appreciate everyone. We started this out of love and passion for the topics that we talking about. So we just really want to express our sincerest thank yous. Again, as we mentioned, we will film every 2 weeks unless there's a premium live event. So we know Bad Blood is next Saturday, which means we will be back here on Sunday recording. And once the NBA season start, me, Jay, and O will get together and discuss if there's a different game plan on how we should, put out the episodes. If y'all have comments or ideas for us, please, in any one of our videos, TikTok videos, Instagram videos, YouTube, put it in the comments, because we open for suggestions and stuff. And
fan topics.
So
I would love that.
Anything. If you got a topic that you feel like you want to hear us talk about, let us know. We open to those ideas, even if it's a bonus topic. Because don't forget, we do the bonus topics. And just to remind you guys, we still are working for those interested to that Paint to the Pit gaming. That's coming. 2K don't want people to make their jump shots, so we just want to make sure we got that crisp product for you guys when it's time to come out. So we didn't forget about that, and we don't want y'all to think that's not coming. More details will continue to follow. But that's all for episode 5. We love y'all. Talk to y'all next week.
Yeet. Yeet.